gonna be the skill runes video for the Demon Hunter. I've got 5 skill runes to share with everyone. We're gonna start with the very first skill rune you unlock in the beta. Piercing Arrow is a skill rune for Hungering Arrow. Piercing Arrow simply increases the chance of pierce. Originally, Hungering Arrow has a 35% chance to pierce through targets, and Piercing Arrow increases that to 55. So let's see if we can take a look at that. You can see a lot of these arrows are actually piercing. Now, I love the pierce attribute for sure. It increases the damage that you're dealing so significantly. Whether you're attacking single targets or mobs. Like if you're just targeting a single strong monster, you'll be shooting multiple hungering arrows or piercing arrows at the target, and then goes right through them, and it comes up the other side, and then the arrow turns around and hits him again and again. So you can be essentially hitting a target with like 3 arrows at once, sort of 2 or 3 arrows at once if you get lucky. So that's the first skill rune you unlock. There's also a second skill rune available for the Hungering Arrow skill. And we'll take a look at that one. I actually have equipped a very weak crossbow just to sort of better illustrate these effects, so I don't just like one-shot all the monsters. Cinder Arrow adds fire damage. Let's take a look at that. We got a champion monster here. Oh, okay. We're just waiting on that cooldown. 5 seconds left. Okay, here we go. Cinder Arrow. So Cinder Arrow is going to go back down to the 35% chance to pierce, but it adds a solid 35% weapon damage as fire over 3 seconds. Both of which very useful skill runes. I prefer the Piercing Arrow though. I think that extra chance to pierce makes it even a little bit more useful than Cinder Arrow, although obviously that's up to debate. Alright, let's move on. Now we're going to take a look at a skill rune for one of the most powerful single target skills that the Demon Hunter has. Impale ordinarily does 250% weapon damage. With the Impact skill rune, it adds knockback to Impale. It also does stun for 1.5 seconds. So let's take a look at the effects of Impact on this skeleton here. It's going to be good for very powerful monsters. I kind of wish this skeleton was a champion or something. But as you hit him with Impact there, you can see he's stunned. Although it says 1.5 seconds, that does not look like 1.5 seconds to me. It just simply would mean that the in-game timer or the game clock is just different from real life, minutes and seconds. So this ability, this skill rune more specifically, would be good against single strong targets. If you're trying to kite a very powerful monster, like at the end of the Shattered Crown quest, you have to fight one of the unburied monsters, except it's a champion, and he does knockback, and he hits really hard. You find him in one of these defiled crypts, actually. So that's just like a one-on-one fight, and in that case, it would be hugely beneficial just to one-shot him with the Impale, and then kite backwards with any other skill, Hungering Arrow, for example. And then when he comes to, when the stun wears off, hit him again with that Impact skill rune, and just rinse and repeat until he's dead. That's sort of where this skill rune specifically is really going to come into play. Alright, next we're going to take a look at the Bola Shot skill rune. The only difference between regular Bola Shot and Volatile Explosives is that Volatile Explosives has a double radius. So we're going to group some monsters together, and let's go to town on them. Just see some of the AoE that is available now. Way bigger blast radius with this skill rune active on Bola Shot. 7 yards versus 14 yards sure makes a huge difference. Again, normally these guys would just melt away in a second. I've only got one crossbow, one 4.9 damage crossbow instead of my usual ones, just to illustrate this effect. But that's sort of besides the point. Bottom line, you're never going to want to use regular Bola Shot ever. Well, at least after you hit might be level 9 or so for Volatile Explosives, give or take. Not exactly sure the level requirement, but Basically, as soon as you unlock volatile explosives, say goodbye to regular bullet shot. You're never going to use it again. Very useful upgrade with this particular skill rune. Finally, we're going to take a look at the skill rune available for caltrops. Hooked Spines increases the slow amount from 60% to 80%. Let's take a look at that effect here. Got some zombies here in the dark cellar. Throw down a couple Hooked Spines, and look at that slow. Those zombies are moving pretty sluggishly here. I'm going to let that guy get away. Not really my focus right now. But yeah, you can see 80% slow, quite significant. These guys really are not going anywhere. Because of the large radius of this particular spell, I would say that it's a bit better for mobs. You know, drop a few of these down, and then it would make sense to use like your new fancy bola shot, because all the monsters are clumped together and they can't really move. So it's sort of just a good combination. So there's just a little overview of all the skill runes that are available for the Demon Hunter in the current patch of the beta. Before we go, there's one more thing I want to share with you guys. My favorite new skill that came in patch 13, Strafe. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm Hunter SC. Peace out.